Hello, welcome back to Code with Shashank, and in today's tutorial, you will learn how to save our to-dos locally in our device. Now if you see, our to-dos are not actually saved anywhere. So if I close this with these to-dos and reopen this, you can see our to-dos are gone. So we need to save it somewhere. To save it in our device locally, we are going to install a library called React Native Async Storage. The official docs is in this website called React Native Async Storage.github.io/async storage, and you can see how to install this. Here they are given with yarn. We are going to install it with npm. Let's go ahead and install this, and we will see how to use this also. You can also read that from here. To install this, first of all, close your development server and run command npm install this full name, React Native Async Storage /async storage, and hit enter. After this installation is complete, restart the server with npm start, close the application, and also run npm run android. Now let's start using that library. I will import that over here. That is import async storage from React Native Async Storage /async storage. And async storage is an object where we can execute some of the methods like get item and set item, which obviously is used to store and read our data. And we can store only string. We have to keep that in mind. It is more like local storage and session storage in our web browser, if you know web development. So let's start using this. As the name says of the library, it is async storage. So we need to execute that in async function. So we will define a async function over here. First of all, I will get the save to dos if saved any, and this will be a async function. Async function is nothing but this function executes asynchronously. That means this function will not stop our code execution, because this function can take any number of time. It can take 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, depending upon the user's processor speed. So this code might fail or it can be a success. We need to handle both of them. So we need to add a try catch block, and inside try, I'll just define a variable called saved to dos and await for a function. Remember, if you want to use this keyword, the function should be async, and await for a function which is there in async storage, that is get item. And get item will obviously get the item we have stored, and the item will have a key and the value will be string. Now the key which you are searching for is, let's name it to dos. If it finds any value with the key of to dos, it will return a promise which, if succeeded, we will get all the to dos we have saved. Else, if there is no value with the key to dos, it will just return null. So let's return and check if it is null. If it is not null, I just want to parse this, because remember, what we are getting is string and not JSON, and we want only JSON data. So we need to JSON.parse the string, that is the saved to dos. Else, if it is null, I just want to return an empty array. And under catch block, I will not do anything for now. I'll just console log the error. Yes, you can of course use some state for error and display a nice little error message. And to execute our get to dos function, since this is async, we cannot just execute here right in our code. React doesn't allow you to execute like that. So what we need to do is use another function offered by React, not React Native, that is use effect, which helps you run async function. Let's use that over here. And the first argument it takes is an anonymous function. It can be a named function also. The choice is up to you. And here I will execute my get to dos. And the second argument is the array of dependencies. Here we will pass the dependencies which, when changed, this function will execute. If it is an empty array, it will execute only once, that is at the start of the application. And get to do's returns a promise because we are parsing this, and this also returns a promise. So we will stack upon stack dot then, and then method takes a function with one attribute, that is the result we are getting, and we will simply set our to do's to the result we got. Let's write a function to store our data. Let's write a function which will store our data. Let's call it save to do, and this also will be a async function. Put this under try catch, and inside try block I will await for a function offered by async storage, that is set item, and set item takes two arguments, that is the key and the value. Now the key is we are getting over here is to do's, so we need to save our to do's in same key as well, called to do's. And the second one is the value, and if you remember I told this takes only a string value, and our to do's is an array, so we need to convert that to string. So to convert that I will use json.stringify and simply pass our to do's, that is this state, and inside catch block I will just console log the error. Now we want to run this function every time our to do's change, to do state change. So how to detect when our to do's is changed? For that I will use another use effect function. First argument will be an anonymous function, and the second one will be an array with the dependencies of to do's. What this array says is, if any of these variables specified over here changes, that time execute this function. So the function we want to execute over here is save to do. That's it. Here we need not stack upon then because we are not returning anything. If you want, you can always stack dot then or dot catch just to see if there is any error. Let's just check if this works. I'll add a to do called learn react and learn react native, and let's just close this and reopen. You can see our to do's are not gone, it is saved. We get the to do's back when we reopen our app. So since this is async storage, it will take some time. We don't know how much. It would be nice if we could show some spinner to the users while it is loading. So let's add a spinner. We have a component for that offered by React Native, that is activity indicator. Now to display this, I'm going to use a state, and the state will be is loading, which will say if it is loading or not, and the initial state will be false. And inside get to do's, before trying to get our to do, I'll just say set is loading to true, and here in catch also I want to set is loading to false, because even if it is error I want to stop loading. And let's just display our activity indicator depending upon our state. I want to display our activity indicator right below the to do input, and I will check if it is loading. First of all, if it is, I will just use this activity indicator component, that is self closing, and this takes optional arguments like size, which is a string, large and small. I will say large, and the color. The color will be 269FE6, and you can see this is how the spinner looks like. Now the reason is it is just spinning is because we are not setting it to false after we get our to do's. So let's set that to false in here also. Set is loading to false, and you can see now our to do shows up. Now let's close and reopen our app. You can see for a small instance of time, we can see that activity indicator. It is very fast though, but now our app is complete. You can of course go ahead and add some more functionality. The code is in the link in the description below. You can download that from there, completed code, and try to add some more features or modify this. In the next video, I will teach you how to build this application for Android. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel and give a like to this video.